各位记者朋友，大家下午好。
Good afternoon. Welcome to today's press briefing. Questions, please.
谢谢发言人。总台中文国际频道记者提问：日前，昆明生物多
CCTV, the signing ceremony of Kunming Biodiversity Fund was held in Beijing. Member of the Standing Committee of the Political Bureau of the CPC Central Committee and Vice Premier Ding Xuexiang attended the event. UNEP Under-Secretary General and Executive Director Anderson, who also attended the ceremony, said that the launch of the fund is a contribution that China has made to developing countries, as it shows support for developing countries in biodiversity conservation and restoration, was your comment. The Chinese government attaches great importance to biodiversity conservation and is committed to working with all countries to build a community with a shared future on Earth. China has taken the lead to invest 1.5 billion RMB for the founding of the fund, just as it was announced by President Xi Jinping at COP15 on the morning of May 28th. The UNEP and the UN Multi-Partner Trust Fund Office together signed a cooperation agreements to officially launch the fund. The fund will stick to the approach of multilateralism and internationalized operation, work primarily through providing grants, and focus on three major goals, namely conservation of biodiversity, sustainable use of the components of the biodiversity, and fair and equitable sharing of benefits arising from genetic resources, so as to support biodiversity conservation in developing countries and contribute to the implementation of the Kunming-Monterey Global Biodiversity Framework. China is ready to work with the international community through the fund, deepen South-South cooperation, and build global synergy on biodiversity conservation, so as to create a better future of harmony between man and nature. Next one, please.
AFP, the U.S. Department of Justice announced yesterday that it has cracked down on a malicious website arresting a Chinese citizen. He will face detention of up to 65 years. Can you share some details of the case?
I'm not aware of the specifics. What I can tell you is that China always opposes and cracks down on cyber crimes in any form. Next one, please.
Thank you. Question from Reuters.
路透社提问。俄罗斯外长表示，中国可以召开和平峰会，乌克兰和俄罗斯都会参与。中方是否会召开这样一个和会？
On the Ukraine issue, China always upholds a fair, just, and objective position and is committed to promoting talks for peace. And this should be the fundamental way for us to resolve the Ukraine crisis. We support all efforts that are conducive to the peaceful settlement of the crisis. China supports the holding in due course of an international peace conference that is recognized by both Russia and Ukraine and ensures the equal participation of all parties and fair discussions on all peace plans. China would like to maintain communication with the international community on promoting the political settlement of the Ukraine crisis. Next one, please.
AFP on Palestinian-Israeli conflict, President Xi Jinping said that China supports an international conference with a greater scale and with more authority. Can you share more details?
Thank you for following President Xi Jinping's speech at the China-Arab Cooperation Forum, and this speech is actually released, which you may refer to. In the speech, President Xi has stated China's position on the Palestinian-Israeli conflict. He stressed that the war cannot be fought continuously and justice cannot be absent, as two-state solution is the fundamental way out. This is China's position on this issue. And also on the International Peace Conference, President Xi also stressed that we support the full membership in the UN of Palestine, and we support an international peace conference that is more authoritative and larger in scale. This is the China's position is elaborated by President Xi and have nothing more to offer. Next one, please.
Yonhap News Agency, the DPRK fired more than a dozen suspected short-range ballistic missiles today. The UN Secretary-General has condemned this, saying the launch of a reconnaissance satellite violates Security Council resolutions banning the use of ballistic missile technology. What is China's position on the satellite launch on May the 27th and the ballistic missile launch today?
China reported the reports on the Korean Peninsula issue. China's position is consistent. I have no more comment to offer. Next one, please.
谢谢。深圳卫视执新闻记者提问：第4次小岛屿发展中国家。
Shenzhen TV, the 4th International Conference on Small Island Developing States was just held in Antigua and Barbuda. China sent a delegation. How do you comment on the event? The decennial International Conference on Small Island Developing States, SIDS, is the most important international conference under the framework of the UN for advancing the development of SIDS. As special members of the big family of world nations, SIDS have achieved remarkable progress in economic and social development, while facing challenges such as frequent natural disasters and lack of economic diversification. Discussions at this year's conference focused on the theme of charting the course toward resilient prosperity and sent a strong message of upholding multilateralism, seeking strength through unity and pursuing common development. The outcome documents the Antigua and Barbuda agenda is of vital importance, as it will serve as a platform of action in the next 10 years. Representative of the Chinese government and Vice Minister of Foreign Affairs Ma Zhaoxu attended and addressed the conference. He put forward China's 4-point proposition. First, uphold multilateralism and support SIDS's equal participation in global governance. Second, put development first and support SIDS in implementing the UN 2030 agenda. Third, uphold solidarity and cooperation. And fourth, encourage innovation and support SIDS in strengthening the ability of self-driven development. Vice Foreign Minister Ma Zhaoxu stressed that China always views SIDS as important development partners. We have worked actively to assist the development of SIDS, set up several cooperation platforms under the BRI and the Global Development Initiative, delivering tangible benefits to the local people. China stands ready to work with all parties to actively implement the Antigua and Barbuda agenda, respond to the urgent need in moving toward more the community with a shared future for mankind. Next question, please. Any more questions?
谢谢发言人。东方卫视记者提问。那么我们关注到
Dragon TV, the Hong Kong gave verdict to the unofficial primary election case involving 35 plus people. Certain Western countries pointed fingers at the verdict. What's China's comment? Hong Kong is a society under the rule of law. To abide by the law and hold lawbreakers accountable is a fundamental principle. No one should be allowed to use democracy as a pretext to engage in unlawful activities and escape justice. The central government firmly supports the law enforcement and judicial authorities in Hong Kong as they are in carrying out their duties in accordance with the law and punishing all acts that undermine national security, and firmly opposes certain countries interfering in China's internal affairs and smearing and damaging Hong Kong's rule of law by using relevant judicial cases. Next one, please.
Question from Reuters.
欧盟委员会将推迟对中国电动汽车征收关税。 这是据路透社的报道，外交部对此有何回应？
关于 On EU's anti-subsidy probes on China's NEVs, China has made clear China's position. I want to say that the nature of this probe is actually trade protectionism. The EU has its activities are unreasonable and is not in line with international rules in the probe. Its groundless accusations against China's subsidy projects are groundless. China urges the EU to end the probe as soon as possible, avoid undermining trade and economic cooperation between China and the EU, and disrupting the stability of industry and supply chains. If the EU does not change course, China will not sit idly by and will take all necessary steps to safeguard its lawful rights and interests. Next one, please.
还有其他问题吗？
Anything else?
那好，今天的记者会。
Then let's call it a day. Thank you for coming.